it's something that.
And they can't even explain it, you know. If you to sit down and ask them, why did you put yourself through this? They don't know, just it's the energy calling them. And when you're dealing with life on an energetic level, you can't explain it.
Yeah.
You know, the best words can do is probably give you like 10% of what's going on, not even that, 5%.
Yeah.
There's even a saying, are we recording? There's even a saying from the Dagara tribe, and they say, spirit is that which knowledge cannot eat.
Right.
And there's another phrase, same thing. Spirit is that which the ego cannot eat. So anytime you try and explain spirit with the ego, you're literally in a different universe. You're not in the same dimension of spirit. It can't consume it. It's like, it's lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, straight. You try and consume it, you're going to get diarrhea. You know what I'm saying? And IBS. So they're like, you don't try and explain spirit. You have to actually feel it and be it.
Because it's not a thinking thing. No. It's not a verbal thing. It's a feeling.
It's a feeling. And it's not, you see the organ that we used to think, you know, you've got the brain and the mind, that's great. Yeah. But that's on a different frequency. So it's no different from like, you can see colours, but you're trying to see sound waves. No, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. They're all part of the electromagnetic spectrum, but different frequencies. Yeah. So it's the same thing with knowledge and spirit.
Yes. Are we
in
the game? We are in the game. Hi, people. Yes, I got the chair back from Mikkel. But Mikkel is behind the camera.
Mikkel from hell.
And I'm back. Yes, your holistic nurse, Nirvana Ma'at. And guess what we have? My brother, Albert.
Hey.
Transitional coach?
Yeah.
Transitional coach. Come on in, you're transitional coach.
With that hat
and I said it
good.
with hesitancy. The reason why is because I asked you a question before, just before the camera started rolling. What do you want to be referred to? Because Albert is super, super, super talented. Super skilled.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like this man has many titles.
Pulling
all
it in.
through the years.
This is the era of receiving.
Mentor.
Come on.
Traveler.
Come on.
You know, nomad. Some people might say nomad.
Come on.
But also health practitioner, holistic coach.
Come on.
You know, so many. I could keep going.
She could.
He prefers today to be called the transitional coach, Albert. Yes. Welcome. Yes. And we're going to ring it in for the ancestors.
Come on.
Because we are here and we're going to be speaking a little bit about, maybe a lot, about our travels to the motherland. Yes. All right. So as you know, I've... Butt in some questions.
Sorry, she's making this look so good, you know.
And you know you should have the mic.
I'm trying to understand where to focus, yeah. And she's just talking and making love to the camera. Yeah. Okay, we'll talk. So that's fine.
With my eyesight, I can't see the camera. So
you're doing good, though. You're like seducing the camera right now, you know. Hey.
Yeah, so, we are drinking at the moment, just very quickly. Got the blood cleanser tea, you know, you got the black cedar, our flagship product, and our batana oil, which I use too. Yay! Very, very, very nice.
Beautiful.
So, Albert.
Yes.
We found ourselves in the Gambia.
Yes, we did.
Recently, yeah.
Yes, we did.
I've literally just come back only 2 weeks ago, I would say. Yes, the Gambia. It was beautiful. My first time. You've been there a few times. And, we didn't know we were both there. And then, boy, you text me and like, Nirvana, are you in Gambia?
Yes. No hesitation, you know, no hesitation. As soon as I heard pop fingers.
Yeah. And we travelled together as well to Village Link Up with Village Link Up, Waroha House.
What was that? 2000. Wow.
Yeah.
Feels like a decade ago.
It feels like a long time ago.
That was epic. Epic. No. Epic. Oh my! All right, where to start?
Because you know why? We've been awfully quiet since we returned. I think everyone's in a state of shock. Village Link Up.
Yeah, I saw Sister the other day.
We've all been hardly spoke about it.
Yeah,
you know?
You're right. Apart from the group,
you
know, there was a few questions in the group. We done a little survey. A couple of us linked it up. And then I think that's it.
But online, we apart from Mikel, we haven't really been sharing that much about it.
There's
and
a lot to share,
I think it has been a deep integration. I can speak for myself personally, and I don't even know where to start when it comes to share that. How did you feel?
Oh my gosh. So for me, Village Link Up was a rites of passage.
Yeah.
I had never been to East Africa, heard about it. I've got friends from East Africa, even certain family members who are from East Africa, but I've never been. So the Village Link Up called me. You know, when your village is calling you, you must go. So when I went, it was a rites of passage. And I mean from just the weather to the journey, and then also not being in the city, going to the village and being in the village. That was a rites of passage, and actually seeing how a village is run, because that's very important. You know, there's dynamics to this. We think that, you know, like when, you know, how society is run is just kind of like second nature. No, there's order to this. So seeing how a natural village runs and the order of it as well, and actually seeing the quality of the relationships, that was very, very important. Yeah. But one of my highlights was, this was after we had the festival beneath the baobabs, because that was epic. Give us another dinner.
Yes.
And Mikel smashed it.
Yeah.
The team.
Oh, this is the one when you performed on the big stage.
Yeah. And it got down.
Oh my days.
I was like, go lower. It was, we looked like his backup. It wasn't planned. You know what I'm saying? He had backup dancers. Then he had a featured artist, David. David was the featured artist. We were the backup dancers, me and Romario. It was crazy.
You had Lloyd on stage with the flag. My gosh.
He had
Even
an entourage.
Ash got up there at one point.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah,
just
and then some of us was down in the crowd, just getting everyone like hyped. It was mad.
Nah, the vortex opened up.
Serious.
So I wasn't going to say that was one of my highlights. I'll go with that one first. Yeah. The vortex opened up. And what was so great is that it was like the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
Because remember, before you actually performed, you had got a massage. You know, so no one even saw you for like an hour and a half.
Who was it?
Was it the famous four hands?
It's a four-handed massage.
I don't think I've ever heard about a four-handed massage, you know. No, I've never, up to today I haven't had it, bro. Four-hander. And the way they said it as well, to get a four-handed massage, you need to be privileged. They didn't just do it for anybody. I was requesting this thing, you know. It never happened. No, I didn't get it done.
But you got massage though.
I did, but it was a two-hander.
Yeah.
I want a four-hander. Yeah, so that was calm.
Yeah.
And I remember when you started, I was getting changed because I went to see my brethren. So look at this, you see the rhythm. And that's going to take me on to one of my highlights, remember, because you were like, brother, it's not synchronicity, it's rhythm, yeah? And not that synchronicity is wrong, synchronicity is correct, you know? It's actually highlighting rhythm.
Right.
You know, timing is man's way of actually interpreting rhythm. You know what I'm saying? But timing isn't rhythm. Because there's a difference. With timing comes control.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With rhythm comes surrender.
Yes.
And so I went to go and see one of my brethren who I didn't know was there, just like you. I was there in the festival. Imagine, I'm how many hundreds of miles away. Yeah. And then
you meet up.
My sister was there. She was like, Albert.
Serious.
Your face looks familiar. She was like, yeah, Equa. Like, oh my. What are the chances of us being here, not even in Mombasa, in Kilifi? We were in Kilifi.
Yeah. Was that in the festival that you saw?
In the festival.
And there's thousands of people in that festival.
What's the chances of that?
Yeah.
And it's not like some faraway acquaintance. This is my brethren. Anyone on this earth, they're in Kilifi. I was like, okay, something magical's going on.
Yeah.
So I was like, I can't actually miss this opportunity. We can quickly go say hello.
Yeah,
I went to say hello. By the time I looked at it, I'm hearing like, I'm a piano star. So I had to run back to my tent. Remember, we were in the glamping, innit? They call it. That's my first time glamping as well. I've been camping, but never been glamping. Ran back to my tent, got changed, and my Mario was on my case. But make sure you put on the white, And it's so good when you have that young energy, you know what I'm saying? Because that young energy is just possibility.
Yeah, just infinite.
Just straight. And you know what is? That young energy is our true self.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's before we have all of the layers, all of the considerations. You know what I'm saying? All of the belief systems. It's just straight expression. So he was like, Albert, make sure you put on a white. So I was like, I got to put on a white, got to put on my lapa, we call it, but we call it shukra.
Yeah.
And then, so by the time I come, I was getting amped. The crowd's moving, but the crowd's moving at the same time. Remember back in the day when people used to do that dance?
Yeah.
That's how it felt. That's how it felt. The crowd was moving, all different races and cultures. I was like, shizzle. And then you know them ones
live.
Crazy. You know that the vibrations are so high, and I'm coming like, where do I jump in? That don't happen. One of the ladies like, just go on stage. I was like, I just got here. And they started pushing me. And then, it just went off.
That was it. It was epic.
Went off. And you know, I remember there was one young sister, beautiful sister, and you started doing a little skank with her, but this whole thing looked choreographed. Right. Like you got the video of it, and you lot are moving like this, and she's moving like this, and then she goes down. You know, like the Matrix. I was like, she practiced for this, man. My guy paid her. He gave her money. How did she come doing that?
It was like a whole music video.
It was, though. It was.
But a very high budget one.
Yeah.
Very high budget music
on
video.
rhythm.
Yeah.
We are talking, but it's from a different frequency.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah.
Absolutely, bro. And imagine you've got these ancient, giant baobab trees. They're not normal. Just because we say baobab is a word. You have to experience the organism. You know what I'm saying? And it's alive and it's more ancient than all of us. They've outlived us as well. So imagine being in this space where you've got these giant organisms. You start realizing, wow, my life, I'm important, but I'm a drop in the ocean.
A drop. Like, you know, everyone knows their place.
Yeah. Drop. And the whole ocean is inside of me as a drop.
Yes.
And that's what we felt. So we were in rhythm, and then you felt the atmosphere shift. The atmosphere shifted, and that was it. The vortex opened up. I'm not saying this as words. The vortex opened up. And how you know? Because everybody was in rhythm there.
Everyone.
We said go left, they went left.
Yep.
Go down.
The whole crowd. On the floor. Thousands. Down. On the floor.
Imagine.
On the floor.
No inhibitions. No resistance. That's how you know you're in the vortex. There's no resistance. Now you're in your body.
Yep.
And you know like what they call it in the West now, they'll be like, somatic. I said, we've been doing that forever. We've been doing this forever. And everyone was in their body and it went off. And you had your mask.
I had a mask, a whole mask. So I could get down and dirty.
Down, she got down. All the women, and it was so beautiful seeing our sisterins celebrate their femininity.
It was just fully, everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
You know what? When Mikel jumped off the stage, I
that.
felt like, I swear, maybe it's my imagination, I felt like the ground shook.
Yeah, it probably did. What's that?
It was like,
no, absolutely not. It was you. No, it was. Mikel was like Cisco. You remember, like, you remember all that girl said, so scandalous.
No, that was that whole video. The whole video.
It shook. Serious. Now that was powerful, family.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
And that was a moment I thought all of us, it lives in us.
It does.
Rent free.
Yeah.
And if it wants rent, we'll pay it.
Yeah.
But it lives in us rent free. And it will be with us forever.
That is a whole memory, like vivid memory that will never leave. It's beautiful.
And imagine this, you had the backdrop though. This is what made it so phenomenal. The backdrop was of cultural Kenya.
Yeah.
So we had that as the backdrop.
Yeah.
It's different if we're just going to a festival.
Right.
You've kind of been to one festival, you've been to quite a few. Apart from you going to others like the Burning Man and that, but when you've been to one, you've been to quite a few. But we had the festival and we had the backdrop of cultural Kenya.
Right.
So we were very much connected to the rhythm of the land.
Yeah.
So everything got enhanced. And what was so beautiful, the rhythm of the land welcomed us.
But we had also been nurturing that space as well.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just, it was primed. Yeah. The festival was primed for us because we'd had a mini Cheza, we had been there a few days before. You know, before that big event, it's like we had put the energy in, so it knew us. And everyone else did as well.
That's a very
It was
good point.
wonderful. It was
Very good
wonderful.
point.
And that's just the festival part.
Very good point, though.
What
sis.
about the rest?
No, very good point. You're right. Very good
Yeah.
point. And just to add to that,
Yeah.
this is something I've learned, when you're traveling, and when I say traveling, I just mean going from one space to another, one dimension
Yeah.
to another. Any form of traveling, even when you're traveling within, there is a universal order, and you can actually describe it in words, the Mayatian principles, the Kabbalion, and so on and so forth. However, words are words, and words are made flesh. You actually start to experience this universal order. And this order that lives in rhythm is when you want to receive from anything, any person, place, space, or thing, you must give. You must give. So in terms of nurturing a space, there was giving.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're entering somewhere and you want to build connection. If you want to build connection, that connectivity, that reciprocity means you have to give and be open to receive.
That's it.
And when you're giving, it's not taking away, it's creating space. So what flows can flow in. So as you said, priming a space is a great word. You know what I'm saying? We literally primed, we primed, but we held space and we gave. So we were given back to. And when you're giving, you don't give with expectations because your mind can have a particular idea, it must go this way. But, the great mother, the great father, the most high, your soul is the greatest planner.
Right.
And so when you get fixated on an idea, what can tend to happen, your prosperity is coming in a different way, but you'll reject it because you're holding on that it should be wrapped up like this and it should look like that.
That's it. I think when we had a mini Cheza, I think the same day or the day before, I think it was mainly white people in the space. They came for that. And I remember afterwards they were just crying.
Yeah, I remember.
It was so moving.
Yeah, you're right.
And it wasn't a performance. It was just like, if you're going to be here, this is how you get involved. This is how we do it.
Come on.
That's when I felt oneness. That's when I felt oneness with them. You were saying something about some of the things that you are going to be doing and what you have been inspired by. And how's the motherland helped you? Because you travel a lot.
I even got started yet.
You do. But you have been traveling in the motherland.
Yeah.
So how's the motherland influenced your direction? And what is the direction? Because a lot of people might not know.
Beautiful question. Before I answer that, I just want to piggyback off of something you said. You said it about a minute ago. I literally was going to come here and make this statement today, and then you've just opened up the space for it as well, which is so amazing because we haven't spoken about even what the topic was going to be about. So I know you, the master planner, would have had your ideas. But I was just coming here I'm flowing in it.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I had a download, channel, discovery, realization, light bulb moment, whatever you want to call it, the other day. And this realization, it probably is, normal for others, but for me, it was a big deal. Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, the body, the temple, this body is the altar of your entire ancestry.
Yep.
And so what I mean is the body, your temple is the altar that your lineage comes to worship at. Right. I want that to sink. Your body is the altar that your ancestors come to worship at. I was like tears. It was just like, wow.
Yes.
So, yes, we can go into the DNA, we can go into the epigenetics, all of that stuff. Let's go before that. Before that. Because these are all, 50, 60, 70-year-old terms and contexts. But they're inside of another context, that actually precedes them. So, for example, a lot of us believe that our heart's inside our body. That's where the physical organ is.
Right.
That's where the physical organ is. Yeah. And most of us haven't even seen it. How do you know it's there? Seriously, how do you know it's there? How do you know it's there? You feel something beating, doesn't mean it's an organ.
That's fact.
And when they pull it out of... Yeah, anyway.
Has anyone seen their heart? Apart from Mortal Kombat?
Well, I've been to
Finish
I've been
him.
to the mortuary. But even then, I've never seen a beating
Yeah.
heart. Actually, I have seen a beating heart. I have, actually,
Yeah.
in surgery.
Yeah, because that's
yeah.
your field,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Me, I haven't. What I'm saying that your physical heart is the key to your emotional heart. And your emotional heart is much bigger than you. That's why you can go up into a room and feel vibes.
Yes.
That's what they call roho.
Roho.
Moyo is the physical.
Yeah.
heart. Roho is the emotional.
There we go.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so look, you just answered it as well in the sense of you've literally supported this because there was a context before the context we've been living in. You know what I'm saying? So even the roho, in terms of the emotional heart, this is known. It is known. And you see when your heart breaks, it's not your physical heart that breaks.
No.
It's the emotional heart.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And so I was like, shizzle. So every deposit, everything, good, bad, indifferent, that your ancestors have done here, have contributed, to your existence.
Right.
You are the author of this.
Yes.
So wherever your ancestors are, whether you're like, oh, they've gone beyond this realm, if they want to experience this realm, it's going to be through the altar of you.
That's why
and what
I say
is an
we
altar?
are our ancestors. But I love what you've said. We are the altar.
We are.
Where they,
And so how many of us are literally nurturing this altar, are cleaning this altar, are honoring this altar? How many of us are worshipping this altar?
Yeah.
Because, you know, like even in scriptures, various scriptures, it tells you like, if you want to witness or experience the Most High, the Great Mother, the Great Father, it's going to be from within.
Right.
So I'm saying your ancestors, they are praying that you make it because you're their deposit
Yes.
on this earth, in this dimension, in this space-time continuum.
They get to
And
see it through your
literally.
lens. Oh.
You know, like that. You remember that
Yeah.
movie called Being John Malkovich?
Yeah.
Did you ever watch it?
I've watched it.
Do you remember it?
A long time
Okay.
ago.
It's basically
Yeah.
when this guy goes into a hole, and when he goes into this hole, anytime he goes in, he's looking at the world through the lenses of this guy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's the same way it works for our ancestors. Exactly the same way. How do I know that? Well, you're carrying features of people that you've never met.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got qualities of people that you've never met, but they've deposited it here. And they've not just put it here like, because it's just something they've done randomly. No. They've put it here for it to evolve.
Ancestors leave clues.
They want it to evolve. Because if it evolves, they evolve.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That's it.
It's been put here for it to evolve, gain interest, expand, increase. So all the things you go through in life, everything, everything, whether it's a challenge, whether it's a breakthrough, all of these are literally the codes of your ancestors, of their lives. Does that make sense?
It's like a relay race and you've been handed the baton.
Yes, literally.
Yeah.
Literally. And so, again, you are the altar. What are you going to do with it?
Wow. How are you going to treat your altar? And it's completely up to you, We all have personal choice. But literally, how you use this wonderful, wonderful, magnificent body is going to really amplify what you can do while you're here.
And you see what you do with this altar is exponential.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, it goes forward, back, sideways. It goes into every dimension. Yeah. So you remember we were speaking about time and rhythm and that. Time is, man's way of trying to describe rhythm. But you see, rhythm is multidimensional. It is. Can you see rhythm? Like, you don't see rhythm.
No.
You see the effects of it.
Yes.
Meaning we're in time now. Oh, you're dancing in time.
Yeah.
But you can see when someone's not dancing in time. Because I remember before I used to dance very fast. You know what I'm saying? And my rhythm was different.
Yeah.
But it's not the cause. The rhythm is the effect.
Right.
The cause is the connection.
Yes.
Does that make sense? When we sing in time, we don't have stanzas, or crotchets and quavers there. We don't have all that there. But you know what's in time.
Yes,
That makes sense.
yes.
Something invisible is directing all of this. And again, it goes into the heart,
Right.
your heartbeat. So I just wanted to finish by saying it's so important that we honor this temple because it is the altar of our ancestors. It's where the prayers of our ancestors reside.
Yeah.
Our body is literally a library of prayers, of promises.
Yeah.
And some of these promises weren't completed in the lifetimes of those particular ancestors. So it's been given to you. You are their promise. So what you do with it in regards to health, you know, traveling, discovery, is literally how you honor these promises and prayers. And then also experiencing. And it's how you bring balance or harmony to something that now could have been in disharmony or been in dis-ease.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. And that's, you know, and there's a fine line as well, you know, because I could just be, and it also is perception, because some people think about when you're taking care of your body, health-wise, etc., it's going to be not so fun. Yeah. But perception, you know, I know when I'm eating healthy, I'm enjoying. I'm having fun.
Come on.
You know, and then there's going to be a fine line when you want to give yourself a bit of grace, but you need to know yourself, you know, and there's no wrong or right except for what you believe. Except for what you believe. What's your truth, you know? So,
and your body will tell you.
And your body will tell you.
Your body will tell you. Yeah? Don't for a second believe that your body is wrong. Your body keeps your heart beating. Do you know how to keep your heart beating?
It's true. There's it's automated.
Do you know how to digest your food?
Yeah.
Do you know how to extract those minerals and vitamins? Do you know how to make like vitamin D?
Right.
Your body does that.
Whew.
Do you know how to make glutathione? Your liver does that. Do you know how to make the B vitamins? Your liver does that.
Your liver does that. Exactly.
Sis, your body knows better than you.
Right?
This altar knows better than me. Surrender to it, people.
Wow.
Because your body will tell you. And when your body's telling you, if you go start popping pills to numb the communication or gag your body, you're going to experience the consequences. Yes. There's no getting out of it. And actually be grateful.
Yeah.
Be grateful because what actually your body's saying is, I've not given up on you.
I'm always thankful. When I wake up in the rising, the first thing I say before I even move my body is, I'm so grateful.
Come on.
I'm so grateful for my body, you know. It's literally working 24/7, never stops.
Never stops.
Can you even imagine?
Sis, never stops.
Me
getting hot under this word. Hallelujah.
Hey, yo.
Praise her, praise him. And you know what? Continue. I want to continue.
Yeah, so it never ever stops. It never stops. So you when we even go into the mechanisms of the body, it will blow your mind. Because we don't even know everything about the body. We know a certain percentage.
Come on.
And every day there's more discoveries.
Come on.
Especially when you start looking at the nervous system now. Oh, Lord.
I don't think we should go there. I think that's going to be like a different podcast.
Yeah. Let's.
If we continue, you're going to open up something here.
And it goes directly to spirit. This is why I went into neurology as a nurse. I chose that specialism because I was like, no, let me see something. Yeah. Let me see something real quick. Because, and I realized there's only a certain curriculum that they have when it comes to the nervous system, and there's a part they cannot explain. Cannot explain.
And they say it as well.
Yeah, and they say it.
They don't know. Because this is a different. We'll touch on it and we'll go back to your original question because I still remember your question. And the only reason I'm saying because I know that we jumped in this vortex.
Yeah, we jumped in. We're 2 feet.
All right. So
speak.
So the nervous system. Oh my God.
Serious stuff.
You know, I didn't know what the nervous system was. I knew it in terms of anatomically as a word, but I didn't know how important it is to your peace. Yeah. Imagine so many people, and I walk past them every day, and I'm not saying I'm not one of them. I'm still on this journey. They're fighting themselves because their nervous system is dysregulated. Then people ask, what does that even mean? What is a dysregulated nervous system? You're in fight or flight 24/7.
You're not meant to be in fight or flight all the time. You're meant to be in fight or flight when you see a tiger coming. That's when you're meant to be in fight or flight. You're not meant to be in fight or flight because you missed the bus to go to work. You're not meant to be in fight or flight because you got a bill to pay. No.
Or you're going out to the club, you know what I'm saying, and you're not sure if Arms House.
Yeah.
Remember that word, Arms House?
Arms House. Oh, showing the age now. Yeah. Arms House. Do they still say that?
They don't. That's what I'm saying.
No, they bring it back, bro.
Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back. Yeah.
And when it was Arms House, it was Arms
I didn't even
House.
know what that meant, you know. Arms House. Is it Arms?
I don't know how this is coming to being.
I used to say Arms House.
No, Arms House.
People say arms out, but I thought it was arms out. Like, as in, like, it's,
Arms out, fight.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
fisticuffs.
Arms Out. Maybe it is that.
It
Maybe
could be that.
no, but
Maybe.
people, either way,
Yeah,
it still went to
arms-
people
yeah.
said
Yeah,
arms out.
yeah, Arms House.
Like, you know, words just graduate.
Yeah.
It's graduated. It must have done. Because why would we say it anyway? Why?
Arms out.
Arms House. Raw. And raw.
Yeah. Rotted.
Rotted.
Rotted. Bomba bomba garden. Na get me started.
Oh my days.
So
What was I saying?
nervous system dysregulated, fight or flight.
Yeah, that fight or flight thing is serious because it accompanies, it's supposed to accompany a movement. So when you're in fight and flight and you feel it, you're meant to,
Yep. Yes.
or something. You're not meant to be fight or flight, I'm sitting here. Now something's going on. You've got chemicals moving through your body, cortisol and all kinds. Yeah? And what's it doing? So yeah, go into it.
Oi, let me tell you something. This goes, shout out to Mikel Mean with the song Safe. The song's called Safe, right?
Oh, I love that tune.
Because that song is describing this challenge.
Yeah.
It's describing this challenge. People are like, but why? Firstly, most people, let me be clear, most people that I've come across, at least 70% of them, they don't feel safe.
Okay, yeah.
And because they don't feel safe, and it's not just safe physically, safe emotionally. What does safe emotionally look like? It looks like when you can be your true self without no judgment. You can be vulnerable without no judgment. You can get things wrong.
Yeah.
Now, how many people are around people that they're too scared to get things wrong?
Yeah.
I used to be around people and I was like, I used to feel nervous to make a mistake. That's not living, that's fight or flight. Yeah. And when you get into fight or flight, that's a word to describe the psychological aspect of it. But underneath that, you've got hormones. And these hormones like cortisol, adrenaline. Oh my gosh. They literally take over your system. They're not good or bad. Adrenaline is there to help you. But when you're in a fight or flight situation, what adrenaline does, it turns you into a superhuman.
Superhuman.
But it's meant to be temporary.
Yes.
But if adrenaline stays in your system, all your organs start to shut down. It starts to slow down their process because when you're on fight or flight, you're not supposed to be eating. Yes. Your body goes into superhuman mode and it's like a very primal mode to get you out of that situation. Right. But if you're in that situation over a prolonged amount of time, what happens is your body's now tense. You can't digest food. You can't absorb nutrients. No. And as a result, immune system goes down. As a result, you're going to have issues. You're going to have issues with your actual skeletal system. You're going to have issues with digestion. You're going to have issues with processing your food. You're going to get headaches. I was that person. Yeah. I was that person. I was that. And I did it. And what I'm saying, safe, is an ode to the inner child. It's an ode to the wounded child. Not just men, women. It's an ode to the wounded child in all of us, because what you started to see now is young people, not even just young people, but let's talk about this generation though. They've started to regulate. It's natural. Yeah. And even if you're like, yeah, but it's an unhealthy pastime or addiction, what the body does with its infinite wisdom is go and find a solution. And even that solution it's finding is not actually long-term. No. It's saying, I'm going to make you manage this until you're in a safe space and we can unpack it. Yes. What does unpack it look like? Trauma. Right. Trauma is the unpacking. Because you've got to remember, trauma is not what happened. Trauma is what happens inside of you because of what happened.
Because of what happened.
That's what trauma is.
And where is it stored? In your cells.
In your cells. Your nervous system.
Yeah.
And so what young people and ourselves will do to regulate ourselves is things like, you know what, I need to cover my face. Because I feel safe like that. I need to always wear my hoodie. I need to smoke, sex, this, that, comfort eating. You know that we got a nation of comfort eaters?
Yeah.
And it's not even distinguished.
Boy.
Imagine
I'm
that.
one of them.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
I've been that person.
Yeah.
This ain't no shaming.
Still managing it.
No, this ain't no shaming.
Yeah.
This is us saying, okay, we can actually own that now. You own it. Because when you own it, you can do something about it. You can be something about it. So going into the nervous system, it is so critical because we're fighting ourselves. And then we're putting ourselves in these environment spaces and places with people and things that actually are not safe for us. So then we can't be.
Yeah.
Then by the time you get home, your social batteries are out.
Gone.
You don't even have time for you. And I know people watching this, you can relate to what I'm saying. We've all been there. Some of us are still there. But we're here to say it's okay. It's okay. The first step is to acknowledge it.
Right. And it's not and I've had to deal with a lot of blame in my life. You know, when you all constantly told off, when you're young, it can affect you in some ways.
Absolutely.
And what I've learned is that now if I hear that I'm wrong, try not to take it too hard. Yeah. But what I have to remember also is that when I'm about to confront something about a mistake they've made, I'm coming at the angle of, let's learn from this. But I have to remember not everyone's there yet. They're still in a defense mechanism because they feel blamed, you know? And mistakes are there for us to learn. That's how you're meant to learn. That's how you're meant to go through life. You can't go through life knowing and being perfect the first time round. You know, when you were starting to learn to walk when you was a child, you fell a few times. Before you many.
Hundreds.
Before you was actually walking, you know? And that's how you learned. And so, this whole dysregulation thing is something that needs to be talked about, but also we need to actually find a way for us to have a better understanding of our body and the way that it works and to give ourselves the grace.
Come on. Grace and compassion for self.
Yeah, compassion. Self-esteem will, instead of it going down, you'll actually have a nice platform to play with. Right, okay.
Come on.
There might be some limited beliefs, but I know the body and I know why I'm like this. And I know that this isn't true, you know? So.
And, you know, so just one more thing about the dysregulated nervous system. You know that our nervous systems are connected.
Yeah, yes.
Our nervous systems are connected, bro. You know, so what you're going through, if I am connected to you, I have a relationship, I'm going to feel it too. Yeah. And so imagine that. So you're not just dealing with your own nervous system.
Network.
Yes, it's a network, like the mycelium network. You know what I'm saying? We walk past each other. Yeah. Me raising my voice. We walk past it. I'm joking. Come on. Yes. We walk past each other and we notice each other. Have you not seen that phenomenon? It's everywhere in the world.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
And so we had a context for that before. And the reason I know we had a context for that, because going back to Gambia, there's a context for that. When you're walking past each other, there's an acknowledgement, you know, straight, that I'm actually seeing myself, you know what I'm saying, through you. So there's literally a respect, you know what I'm saying? There's an hello, there's a, you know, a term of endearment, you know what I'm saying? That's just
There's
standard.
even a wagwan.
There's a wagwan, you know,
They are-
assalamu alaikum, you know, all of that.
They know all our terms, innit?
So, because that's your nervous system going off. Now, what happens when you're in a hostile environment? Your nervous system is active, dysregulated, on fight or flight, you're highly sensitive, and you're also walking past others that you're connected to.
Yeah.
You're going to feel threatened, or you're going to want to connect.
Yes.
One or the other.
Yeah.
But if you've got an issue now with rejection, abandonment, and trust, that wanting to connect is going to end up as disappointment. Because you've got other people who are in the same situation as you that don't trust either. So now you'll just lock eyes. And then maybe for a bit too long, and then you feel yourself getting angry. And you don't even know why you're getting angry. I don't know you. But you represent a part of me that isn't healed, that actually is a disrupted movement, a part of me that I'm stuck in. Imagine that. And that's going on every day. Who is highlighting that? let's put the children aside. Let's do with the adults. Who's highlighting that for the adults?
Yeah.
There you go. We'll talk. We'll talk. We'll talk. And so this is why people are very quick to run out of their communities. You know what I'm saying? It's part of the phenomena. Like, we hear about the brain drain in the motherland, but you got what's going on here. I don't want to go back. And I'm not saying you need to go back out, but when people are leaving, they want to leave and they don't remember anything of their childhood.
Okay.
Nothing. So we often hear, this person's made it and they've sold out. Da 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 da, la la la. We're not even understanding that these are fight or flight responses. These are dysregulated nervous system responses. Because you know what happens? You see, if you were to go through the process of actually regulating your nervous system, healing, bringing harmony, what happens? You don't have to live there, but you're not going to have such a resistance to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see. It's the response.
It's the resistance to it. Because the resistance to it lets you know that there's something there you haven't dealt with.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah.
So again, if we're talking about the motherland, with their nervous systems over there, so interesting. You watch them, they'll go past each other and they smile. And they say hello. This can be the biggest, baddest man, the biggest, baddest girl. They'll say hello. And it's not everyone, but most people. There's just this thing. There's a peace. There's a relaxation that they have around each other, which is strange because you'll be like, oh yeah, but you know, a lot of the countries have been through this and been through that. But for some reason, the culture that they're in restores them to their nature.
It does. It does. It does.
Does that make sense?
And if you take any of their number for any reason, expect that you're gonna actually be contacted. And I found that strange because when you do that here, like you don't hear from the person.
No, it's not for sure.
It's like, yeah, I take your number.
No, it's not for sure. You got to remember this.
It's real. Every other day, hello, sister. How are you? You know what I mean? And I'm like, I have to like get it into my head that this is their nature. And that is my nature, my original nature. It's just that I've been conditioned here not to do that. And then I must have said to my sister, actually, this is like coming back to a military camp. Because as soon as I landed back, it's go, 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 go. That's what this environment inspires you to do or influences you to do. It's go, go, go. When you're there, people don't understand why you ain't got time to say hello.
Nope.
How are you? How's your day?
Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And that, you see, it's so interesting because then that's where we have to check ourselves, you know, because you're right. Why am I taking your number?
And I said that to a few of them. You know I'm not going to really call it. So
But why am I taking it? Why am I taking it if it's just going to sit, you know, in my so-called phone book as a trophy?
Yeah.
That's to do with ego and self-esteem.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if they take your number, they're going to connect because the number is just an access point to connect. The actual reason, so watch this. This is how you can actually understand or analyze or be aware of the different motivations. When someone takes your number to connect, they're going to use it as a channel, as a means to connect with you.
That's right.
Whether it's a phone call, a text message, a video call. That's the aim.
That's the
We're
aim.
both alive.
Yeah.
We want to connect.
That's the point.
Let's be clear that is normal.
Yeah, yeah.
When I say normal, that's healthy.
Yes. That's
Yeah?
the healthy. That's the healthy part.
Yeah,
of it.
because if you don't want to
Yeah.
connect, don't give me your number.
Right.
It's absolutely fine.
Yes.
You have a right for that. Yeah? Now, if I take your number and it collects cyber dust, it collects AI dust in my phone book, it's a different motivation.
Yeah.
That's more conquest. That's more stripes, badges. You know what I'm saying? And what I mean is that I literally conquered. It's a stripe. You remember, I remember back in the day, there was like certain ladies that I would speak to, and I remember like there was even a particular one that she was nice, and I was like, oh, I'm interested. And you know, it's like you get the courage, you go up, you do this work, you know what I'm saying? Even if she didn't give me the number the first time, maybe the second time, I get this number. Then when I'm talking to her, even when I get number, she's not that interested, Then I'm like, oh, you're not that interested. And even I may get a bit closer, I'm not sure, So I'm like, okay, the number is going to stay there, I'm not going to call you. Because you put me through all that. I've got the power now, Yeah. You're not getting a call, And then when she sees me, you took my number, you didn't call, I'll get round to it, innit?
Oh my God.
And so I'm saying, you still got that childish way of being.
Yeah.
Because that's actually the actions of a child, and that's real talk, you know, actions of a child in the sense of, I'm going to take your thing, you know what I'm saying? And now I've taken a thing, I've got access to, but I'm not going to use it. Because now that leaves the power, and the ball is in my court. And so you've got a lot of that game going on, you know, in the West. Yeah. And when I say in the West, it's amongst our people, it's rampant. It's rampant amongst our people, it's rampant amongst people just generally. And where that's coming from is coming from the wounded child.
Yeah, but there's a lot of women, and doing all of this, but it's leading from that. There's a lot of women that don't want to give their number for that reason. Even if the guy says, no, just for friends, but you know your lifestyle, you know, and it's not nothing to do with the brother or the person or even the woman you're talking to. I know that I'm not going to call you because of the lifestyle, not because of you.
Yeah.
And so, yeah?
I was doing it in Gambia.
I was doing it a lot in Gambia.
Yeah, here, I don't really hear about that. People like, give me your snap.
Yeah,
I don't even have a snap. It's so funny, yeah? Or your IG,
Your IG, yeah.
Don't ask me for my number. I low-key get offended.
Why?
So many ways to chat to me.
Yeah. And I was kind of like, I was being true to myself in Gambia. I was saying the same thing. I was like, look, brother, unless we're doing business or something like that, there's no point me taking your number.
Yeah.
But I want to be your friend. And, and, you know, it may be they want to be friends, but
thank you.
I have to be real about my lifestyle and what
talk.
it really is.
You're just going to end up disappointing them anyway.
And exactly, and no one wants that. No one wants that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. You know, so again, you see just the pattern that you find in the West of like this, treat them mean to keep them keen and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a game, but it's a game you're playing with yourself, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because all you're doing is like you're putting some life force into something that you actually don't want to grow. Yeah. So what's the point? You're just actually feeding weeds.
That's it.
And then to go to your point that you're making about the motherland, you know, and like just my adventures, because that's how I relate to it. There is so much to experience on this earth. There's so much to experience on this earth. Like, just for a moment, let's take that in.
Yeah.
So, to those watching, there's something in you that gave birth to you. Gave birth to your experience, your life. There's a calling, a purpose, a rhythm, a promise, a sacred promise, a divine promise, and it's growing inside of you. You may have suppressed it. You may have doubted it. You may even not trust it much, but actually it will never leave you because it is you. And that part of you naturally, innately, intrinsically is here to explore.
Yes.
And exploration doesn't just mean physically. That's not everybody's path. That's not everybody's rhythm. Some people, they're going to explore art, like through painting. Some people are going to explore creating architecture. Some people are going to explore the sea. Some people are going to explore land. Some people are going to explore the different dimensions. Some people are going to explore food. But anywhere you explore, it's your birthright to create, to leave an imprint in time and space, because you have a unique signature that is you. There will never be another you. There can never be another you. Imagine how many beings had to come in and out of this physical realm to make you possible. Imagine that. There's not one. Thousands of beings came to make you possible. And someone can say, well, how do you know that? All I can say is that I know I came from someone. I came from a woman. That woman came from another woman. That woman came from another woman. My father came from a woman, and that woman came from another woman, and came from another woman, and came from another woman. So I'm saying all of their lives had to be in order for you to be here today. So never for a moment, doubt the importance, the significance of your existence. If one drop was taken out of the ocean, it won't be the same ocean. I'm not saying it's better or worse, it just won't be the same ocean. So we are all here in this ocean of experience. And, you know, being in the motherland or being in Gambia, one thing that was very clear is even in the westernized, parts of Gambia, there is still this connection to nature that they have. Remember, a respect. Remember, we were walking around with cows. With horns.
Like,
they were my brethrens.
Proper. Like, you're just shopping and one's walking beside you. Big thing.
Massive cows, Hador, with horns.
Sharp.
Just there. Monkeys. Just there.
There.
If it was here, and this ain't a comparison, it's just showing you there's just a difference. Yeah. I would only be able to see that, in a zoo. Because even when I went with the agriculture, I was studying and went to the farm, no. They dehorn the cows here.
Yeah, of course they have to. But
imagine, these cows are in stables, which are literally prisons, but they still dehorn them. But they're roaming free. I'm out at night and there's a cow just chilling right there.
Just walking.
And not one, they're in their packs. Yeah. They're in their gangs.
The gangs, gangs of cows.
Literally. I remember I went to this well. It's this well, the sacred well. And it's like the well is so makeshift. Yeah, it was so interesting because it doesn't have like a rod at the top and you pull the rope. No. It has this rope attached to a 5-liter actual water bottle, and they've cut the top off. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're creative.
Yeah, very creative.
And there's a technique. So to get the water though, because if you literally dangle the water bottle down, it's quite big. It's got a big surface area. It doesn't go in the water. It sits on the top.
Yeah, because it's buoyant. Yeah.
It's buoyant.
Okay.
So there's a technique. Yeah. And I remember someone was telling me about it, but I didn't know how to do it. So I asked this boy to show me. And so you have to pull it at an angle and you have to almost like thrust it down. Okay. So you turn it on the open side and you have to thrust it down into the water. The water's deep.
Go like that.
Yeah.
And pick up the water.
That's what it does. Imagine something so small like that. I couldn't work out. You know what I'm saying? He had to show me how to do this. Yeah. And it worked. So I brought the water up, but before I could even drink the water, there was 2 cows there before me. And
you're my G.
No, they weren't moving. Yeah, you're working for us.
Yeah,
and I had to respect the order there.
Yeah.
Because another thing, all the other people are way down the other side. Yeah. This cow's there with his massive horns. Yeah. I'm like, Albert, don't mess around here, you know. Don't mess around.
No.
You're in its territory. So I had to respect. I brought the water up, looked at it, bowed, took the water up, and it started drinking. Yeah. Then it called its brethren. His brethren started drinking, and I knew at that point I'm working for you lot, you know. Right. And then they went. Then I could take the water, you get me? So I'm saying like the rhythm there is that they're more connected to the land, and it's because it's not as built up in the sense of it's not as modernized. But this thing we call modernization is weird. It's like a strange misnomer or paradox, because now everything is going retro, and they will tell you now it's so much healthier to walk on the ground barefoot. They'll tell you this. This is what they say. Like, you should be walking on the ground barefoot. It's so much healthier not to have all these layers on, because this actually affects how much oxygen can go through your pores.
And sunlight that actually hits your skin.
Come on. So imagine all the things we were taught that are primitive, you know, oh my gosh, that's so bush. These are the things that they're making money for people now. Yeah. Imagine that. And all we had to do is actually just trust ourselves in the first place.
That's it.
So the first thing I would like to say just about my travels there is just noticing how connected they are to the land, even if they're not aware.
Wow.
And that's one form of connection, because that's still quite far removed. Yeah. You go to the village, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
I think the lack of awareness of how connected they are shows the connection.
Yeah.
Because to be aware, it's almost like you're outside of it. They're in it.
Yeah.
It's part of them.
Yeah.
They are it. Nature is them, and they are the nature.
Yeah.
So that's why. You know, I remember we was in the car and we was talking to your driver about the cows.
Yeah.
Please tell that story. Albert's got other personalities, yeah. One of them is the product.
That is
similar to my other brother.
That's funny. That is so funny.
He was asking the drivers some questions about the cows.
You
and
need
it was
to tell
really
them.
good.
Yeah. Tell them. No, please.
It was good because, and I've got it on video, it will be shared.
All right.
But he was asking, how come... You're so inquisitive. How come the cows are there and they're worth money? You know, beef. You know what I mean? You can feed the whole family and more and then some. Yeah. How come people don't steal the cows? What's that about? I mean, and he goes, oh, because we wouldn't do that. We don't steal other people's property or something like that.
No, but they still it's so interesting, because what Sis is saying is correct. Like, how comes people are not taking the cows, but you'll take everything else?
Yeah, they'll take everything else. If you give them, there's an opportunity.
You give them the chance, that's gone.
That's it.
It'll be your cousin.
Yeah. Could be people's wives. You said, could be, you could steal someone's wife. You could do this. No, but they said there's a level of karma. And where the cow ranks is so high, no one's touching the cows. The cows can roam and go wherever they please. Literally. Wherever
chickens
they
too.
please. And chickens.
Sis, that right there, it's like, people, don't even talk to me about, this place doesn't have an order.
Yeah.
Its order is there.
Yeah.
It's actually there.
Yeah.
But what you've got is this domination of another order of things, So you've got in one space, you've got this thing going on where you've got almost like a battle going on, and the battle is for the real estate of people's minds and psyches, where there is the actual Aboriginal indigenous order that's still there. It's not going to go nowhere because it was established by the land. It was a way of connecting with the land, and so that's
it's what they know first.
Yeah. It's not going nowhere. And it's also encoded in their DNA.
Yes.
It's not going nowhere.
Right.
But then you've also got this other order, which is more synthetic, which is more commercial, and you've also got that dominating. Yeah. But there are certain parts of their actual Aboriginal order they don't play with.
Yes.
And one is the cow. Because you see that phenomena, or anyways, it's not even a phenomena, that level of respect, it's not just there, it's in almost every country I've ever been to.
Right.
Almost every country in motherland, it's the same thing. And the only reason I asked those questions is because my older was telling me about this. And he was like, this is what they're doing in Senegal. And he was talking to his wife about it. He was like, but why don't they do that? And she said, no, we don't do that. But he was like, but you do that? What's that? She's like, nah, the consequences.
Yeah, the consequences. And and that's what's really missing from here in this Western society, as far as I can see. There's a respect for natural order or natural law, that's how we self-govern.
Yes.
And everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
So, and I think that is reason why some of us are using the laws of my arts. And, there's other things that people may use, but it's to help us self-govern while we're here in this space. Because when you're there and you're living there, living the liberty, you're gonna naturally fall into it.
Yes.
Naturally, you won't have to explain it.
Yes.
You won't have to define it necessarily.
Bingo. And that goes to that point, the first point I made that, spirit is the thing that the ego, the mind or knowledge cannot eat.
Yeah.
So when you're in it, you're being it. You don't have to define it. To define it means you're not in it. And definitions, there's nothing wrong with it. Either definition's good. It's actually fantastic.
Yeah.
It's a step in the process.
Yes.
So you define something in order for you to behold it.
Yes.
Behold it means in order for you to grasp it.
Yeah.
That's why you define it.
That's why.
And once you've defined it, the actual aim is to now have a relationship with it, is to be it, become it. Because you see, in that becoming of it and it becomes you, that's how you actually bring harmony.
Yeah.
You know? So what you're saying is absolutely correct. And in regards to, you know, the motherland and the order that's there, because there is an order, it's there, you know, and if you go and speak to the elders, they follow it, you know, a lot of elders will follow it, you know, and so it's interesting because when you go across the motherland and also even on this earth, this is something we spoke about when we were there, you can notice the difference in emotional age.
Oh,
Yeah.
we need some horns.
Some pop, 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 black, abadabakaba.
Watch the gems drop. Listen, speak, Albert, because
Yeah, so because it really goes back to your question specifically, and this is something that I've been noticing, and then I first didn't have a context for it.
yeah,
I didn't have a definition for it, first of all. I could just see it in the behavior of people.
Yeah.
So every space, every place, especially like countries or where you've got demarcation, you know, so you've literally got a particular country, then another country, you've got these borders. Within that, there's a consciousness.
Yeah.
You know, no different from the cells in your body. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? The cells in your body are conscious. They know how to behave, you know. So when someone's healing, it's so interesting. There's something that they call it autophagy. This is what they call it.
Autophagy,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so what the cells start to do in your body with their infinite consciousness, they start to eat up all of the cells that are dead or are causing issues.
Yep.
How do you get to that point of autophagy? You get to it through giving your body a break. Like fasting is one of the greatest ways to trigger, to activate this innate wisdom of your system that cleans up better than any dustbin man
Right.
and recycles.
Yep.
They call it autophagy. We've always known about it,
Yeah.
but we didn't call it that. They created that distinction, which is fine. You know what I'm saying? But the elders will say, or the healer would say, oh, you need to bring your body into harmony. And then they'll say, fast, clean your stomach with this, with an enema, do that, you know what I'm saying? And that will bring this thing about where your body starts to regenerate. So I've noticed that each space has a consciousness, and in that consciousness, there's a vibration.
Right.
That
okay.
vibration, actually will indicate the emotional age of that consciousness. So I'm like, because I started to notice the different behaviors in different countries. And so one of the ways, this is one way you can tell the emotional age of a particular society. When that society is triggered, how do they behave? Do they tap into wisdom, or do they regress into a wounded child and have a tantrum and go to violence? Yeah? That lets you know, because you see the behavior will let you know what spirit is inhabiting that person in that moment. And what people can think is, oh no, it's just that person. No, you can see the pattern of how people behave in a society or community.
Because it's collective. It's
Very
like a
collective.
collective consensus.
It's a collective consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Consciousness,
So, or the morphogenic field, it's a collective consciousness. So people will behave similar. So you'll be like, oh, they have the emotional age of 4 or 5. And this ain't no disrespect. This is letting you know what it is. Because if you don't know what it is, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous if you don't know what it is. Because you'll have expectations that someone is going to actually interact with you from their, let's say, their wisdom or their higher self or their adjusted self or their balanced self. No. Because it's normal over there for them to regress to a 5-year-old, that's what they're going to do. Because according to the collective consciousness, it's like, oh yeah, this is how we behave.
Yeah.
And so you see the different emotional ages of each country.
Of each country, people. Of each country. When you said this to me for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, that resonates. Because I was like, it's like my spirit knows that.
Uh-huh.
But you put it into the words, the emotional age. And that's when I was like, well, so where would you set up then? Because you've been to a few countries in the motherland. What, based on the emotional age, where would you be? Because when we talk, break it down a bit more as
Yes,
well,
I will.
because the emotional age defines as what? Child?
Yes. So there's different models. There's different models. However, one of, I'll say, like the model that I kind of use, which is very, very simple, you know, is that you've literally got the child. But when people often say the child, it can be seen as something like pejorative or disagreeable, you know, or something that's kind of not fanciful, but that's not true. You know, you have two states of the child. So you have the duality in everything, you know. So you have the child, the magical child, and you have the wounded child. These are literally states, spaces within us. Yeah. It's us. Yeah. We're just using these words to distinguish it, you know, so you can have an idea of it and tap into it. But that part of you, in terms of the magical child, that just creates and expresses and literally is a channel. And how you know that part of you is there, because there's things that you do where you get excited and you're not even getting paid. You just like, I just like it because I like it, you know. Could be anything. Could be drawing. I remember we used to make paper airplanes and we just liked it because we liked it. You know what I'm saying? So that part of you is part of the magical child. It goes way beyond that, because the magical child is actually the true self. It's that you that lives in possibility.
Right.
Yeah, it's that you that has access to all the different dimensions. Then you have the wounded child. And the wounded child is that part of yourself, you know, that's got a timestamp. And when I say timestamp, meaning they're stuck in a particular traumatic experience.
Yeah.
These wounded children, we think that it's just our lifetime. No. You inherit them.
Right.
You could have inherited your great-grandfather's wounded child or your great-grandmother's wounded child, and it'll get passed down in the interactions and the behavior and the relationships. You will literally pass it to each other, and then you will start to actually dramatize it.
Right.
Yeah. So you've got the child.
Yeah.
And then you've got, you know, the adolescent, you know. So you develop into the adolescent. Now, the adolescent is very much that part of you when you're coming to, you know, start to acclimatize. Yeah. You know, you're acclimatizers. And with that, they say you've got the adjusted adolescent, and then the adjusted adolescent is the one who's trying to acclimatize and trying to bring it all together, but still hasn't actually brought harmony or balance, you know what I'm saying, to these particular, I'll say, trauma or baggage they're carrying. And that will show up as well in how people will cope, coping mechanisms, you know what I'm saying? Managing coping mechanisms. And so you've got the adjusted adolescent, you've got the adolescent, you know what I'm saying? And then you move on, then you've got what you call like the adult, you know? And the adult, there's two sides to this as well, just like the magical child, wounded child, adolescent, adjusted adolescent, and then the adult, you know? So with the adult, what the adult's supposed to be able to be is to be a space where the adult is able to harmonize all of these various aspects.
With experience.
Yes, bring it together. Yeah. Wholeness. You know what I'm saying? But if you haven't made it to adulthood because you've got what they call disrupted movements, which means you're still time-stamped in these experiences in your life, you haven't overcome them, you haven't healed through them, you haven't faced them. When you get to that stage in terms of adult by age, you will still be in your wounded child. Yeah. And it can show up as well in different areas. So in one area, you could actually be an adult. You know what I'm saying? So for example, I could be an adult in the area of like domestication. I'm able to clean my house, you know, I'm able to look after myself and look after my household. But in relationships, I'm 5.
Right.
You see that with so many people, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah?
That's true.
Or you may be in relationships, you may be an adult, no, you may be an adjusted adolescent, you know, you may be like Mr. Nice Guy, Mr. Nice Girl, or people pleaser, you know what I'm saying? But in the area of your career, you're a wounded child, still looking for support. That makes sense? Yeah. And these are things that I'm relating to. These have happened to me. I'm still going through them. But you can actually feel the emotional frequency of where someone is. And how do you do that? You can see it, you can feel it based on their actions, based on the way they show up. It's a frequency. You know, so for example, as let's say you're in your career, but everything you're doing in your career, and let's say you're supposed to be someone that comes with, you know, the vision, creativity, but you're too scared to do it because you're looking for external validation. That goes back to the adolescent and the wounded child.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
So it's not your fault. Let's be clear, it's not your fault. You know, because a lot of us can go into this self-blame thing. Why am I behaving? Because I used to do it to myself. Why am I behaving like this, man? I know better. Knowing better doesn't mean being better. No. Yeah, knowing better doesn't mean being better. The body goes way beyond the mind. You've got to get into the body. So it means you've got to go back Sankofa and visit those parts of yourself that you've left behind. And you've got to be able to release, you know, and harmonize the energy. And really, there's a gift there waiting for you.
Yes.
There's a gift there waiting for you. You know, they say those pieces of ourselves, you know, that we've left behind, they're our gifts. But in order to get them, we've got to go into those dark spaces.
You have to go back.
You've got to go into those dark spaces. So this is how you can notice where people are at in their emotional frequency. How quick are they to get angry and annoyed and frustrated? How quick are they to go into fight or flight? Yeah. Because angry and annoyed and frustrated straight away for no reason, fight or flight, that's not to do with me, that's to do with what you're carrying. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This you can see in cities when you go to cities. Yeah. How does the law enforcement behave? You know what I'm saying? Because you got to remember, they are carrying the psyche or they're carrying the collective consciousness because they are supposed to be the immune system.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
So the way they behave will let you know, oh, this is the age of this place. Right. Same way the doctors, the nurses, you know, politicians, you can feel it. Yeah. And then the average person, because you're going to get the anomalies, but you will start to see a pattern in how the people behave. How are they with money? That will tell you so much.
How are they with money? How are they when they have no limits? What choices do they make?
How are they? And you know why it's so important? This thing called money, because it's the mother. Money is your mother. And I don't mean that as a, you know, as like a jibe. Yeah, I said jibe, you know.
Jibe, you know.
It's a cuss. Come on, hey. I don't mean it as some, you know, some derogatory term.
Yeah.
No, money is the principle of the feminine. There was an elder that told me that. I'd never heard that in my life before.
Of the feminine.
Yeah, because money, so any issues, we're still talking about the motherland.
Yeah,
we're still talking about the motherland. This is still in the actual context of the motherland. Any issue a person has with money, they have that issue with their mother. I'm going to say, oh, well, how can you say that, man? Some big talk.
Explain that further because,
So what it is money is an outgrowth of the feminine principle. The feminine principle is one of multiplication.
Okay.
That's what the feminine does.
Abundance.
She creates. We come with vision. She creates. That makes sense?
Yes.
This is why they'll be like, you know, there's that joke in it, you know, like when a woman, you know, is in her menses and that, oh my gosh, she's channeling different things. She can be bipolar and da-da. No, that's her nature because she's tapping into different dimensions. And during that period, when that woman is going through that sacred time, she is supposed to be honored, you know, because she can tap deep into your DNA, deep into dimensions, you know, deep to bring forth wisdom and knowledge that your mind won't even be able to comprehend. Wow. Because her mind is not in it.
That's it.
It's the womb. And you got to remember, you see this womb? Yeah, you see this womb?
You got the umbilical cord. The umbilical cord.
Because you know that we have we have an energetic womb.
Yeah, you have an energetic.
We have an where our solar plexus it's an energetic womb. So men don't think you don't have a womb. Right. It's another thing. They've cut us off. Well, let me not say they. We've cut us off from the feminine, from our own feminine. You know what I'm saying? And you see, when you're cut off from your feminine, do not think you can create. You won't be able to create. Yeah. What you will do is you'll regurgitate.
Right.
Because that's what you will do from the masculine. The mind will take things and just kind of put them back together and say, oh, here, ta-da. You're regurgitating. Yeah. So, going to the feminine. Money is currency. Yeah. That currency is the currency of the woman. You know, it's the currency of the woman. It comes from her waters, literally. Okay. That's what money is about.
It's flow.
It's flow. It's current. It's multiplication. It's what happens when you have money? You know, I know that's not me disturbing this.
Hold on a minute.
Let's see who done that. It's a person whose business it is. So they can do it.
Oh, yeah.
That's the wine.
Yeah, just looked at. Oh, thank you.
That must be yours.
It's closed. No, that's not mine. It's the shop phone.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay, cool. I take it back.
So remember
I'll
to
take it
like
back.
silence that thing.
Yes. And that was
Yeah.
one of those bait rings as well. So, multiplication, woman,
Yeah.
anything to do with money, always the feminine.
Okay.
So, if you have challenges, and this is, I'm talking from, everything I've said is from personal experience, but this as well, if you have challenges in the area of wealth, it's to do with the mother. And so what people then would often go to is, but I have a great relationship with my mother. No, we're not talking about that. Talking about the archetype of the mother that your mother represents as well, you know. And having a great relationship with your mother is fantastic. But if your mother has any disrupted movement, there's any spaces in her life where she hasn't grown, you're not meant to connect to her at that space, in that place, and at that state. So you also will have the same challenge there, and it will show up in your finances.
Right.
Does that make sense?
It'll show up in your finances.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah?
It makes sense, yeah. And I'm trying to relate to it in my own life and how I use money as well. So that's why I'm trying to...
I'll give you an example. So from my life, I remember this was the first time anything like this even... I didn't have this in my hemisphere or even have any context for this. And then I went to this seminar, and it was a friend of mine called Reshma. Said, how about come to this seminar? And I wasn't too interested, but I was like, I'll go to support you. So went to the seminar. It was called The Mental Game of Money. And I was like, okay. It was back in the day, like I didn't know nothing about these big seminars. My first time going to a seminar like this. And anyway, there was an exercise we done in this seminar, and it was about actually if money could talk, what would money say? Yeah. So if money was your child, and your child, you know, was given, you know, an actual account of how great or how poor of a parent you've been. Yeah, they were doing an overhaul of your parenting skills. What would your child say?
My child would be saying all kinds right now.
Like real talk.
That is, I love that you've just said that, because now the penny's dropped. Because how I treat my finances, it's a bit of a spiritual bypass, because I know that I've got an experience that money just comes and goes. Yeah, I'm just like, you know. But maybe I'm a bit of a neglectful parent.
No. You know that happened. That's that. Yeah. So when I did this exercise, and it was about, okay, your child is given an account of your parenting skills, and I was speaking from the perspective, or I tapped into money. The money that I took out my wallet, first of all, literally was scrunched up. It was scrunched up. These like those old £10 notes and £5 notes. Remember the ones that were more like paper? Scrunched up in the wallet. Like almost like it didn't want to be seen.
You think about it,
And so I then tapped in, and I was like, if I was money, I'll feel abandoned. That was my relationship with my mum.
And money's energetic.
It's
an energy.
But that was my relationship with my mum, one of abandonment.
Wow.
And it showed up in how I treated money.
Whoo! That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah, literally.
I'm telling you.
I wanna state this, you know, for the record.
Yeah.
Because someone will hear this, then we make it very literal. No. I am saying there are so many people that have great relationships with their parents, you know, in terms of what we will say is the standard great relation. All those I'll say qualities are there. We spend time, you know, you used to give me money when I need it, I come and look after you, all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about. That's fine. We are talking about what's going on what they will call the morphogenic field, which is actually, for lack of a better word, you will say collective consciousness. What's going on in the vibration? So if you've been parentified as a child, what does that mean? That means when a child has had to grow up too quickly.
Yes.
Like my older brother, he became the dad, the surrogate parent.
And he might just imagine if he had a good relationship with your parents, but he still had to do that.
Bingo.
So he might not think that it's an issue.
Bingo. And he's doing it because culture said he must do it.
Right.
But he doesn't understand that culture is one of survival.
Yeah.
Or there's, I've got brethren, great relationship on the surface, but they feel guilty when it comes to their parents. Or they're so attached, they do not feel like they can survive without their parents. All of that is showing up in your money.
Or you've got a good relationship with your mum, but your mum has a lack mindset. Doesn't believe that anything good's going to happen, to her. Yeah, so a lack. And then you've got a good relationship, but that's going to show up in you because she's parented you.
Exactly. And your aim is not to change your parent. It's not that.
No.
You do the work here. My point of saying it, you see the relationship that you have with your mother, any type of attachment style is going to show up in your finances.
Right.
So there's beings where the finances don't flow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's because also in their relationship with their mum or their dad, you know what I'm saying, they may have not felt seen, or in terms of the love, may have not flowed to you for you to feel filled up. So you still feel like you're needing more love from your parents. That makes sense. It could you may be the middle child. You know what I'm saying? So it could have flowed to your older sister, and then you for a little while, then your younger brother. So you're still in need of nurturing. So that's going to show up now in your finances, where actually they are not going to be abundant. They're not going to be abundant because they still need nurturing. Does that make sense?
That's it.
So devoid of the mother, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's going to affect your finances. And even if you have your mother there, it's going to affect your finances. So it's important to deal with these. And then father, when you're dealing with your father, it's to do with how you present yourself in the world.
Wow.
Are you able to speak in public? Are you able to come with a vision? That's to do with the masculine energy. So what your father's modeled to you and your relationship is going to show up with how you present yourself to other people, places and things in this world. It's to do with your presentation and your vision. Can you make a choice and stick with it? That makes sense?
Yes.
So these energies is what makes life. They're not good or bad. They are supposed to work together harmoniously.
Yes. Yin and yang, masculine, feminine,
Bingo.
all of these things.
And so what I noticed in the motherland is that in terms of the modern, I would say, culture that's there, or the imperialism, the Western culture that's there, they've taken the mother out of it. And so because the mother has been taken out of it, because it's like, just like over here, you've got the patriarchy, over there, it's the same thing. What happens, there's an issue with money.
Wow. Woo!
Because you've literally taken the mother away.
You've taken the mother out. Woo! Gems drop, gems.
Yeah, you've taken the mother, so it's going to show up in the finances. And you're literally going to see it consistently from generation to generation until the mother gets restored.
Wow. And this really does affect where you plant the seeds.
Absolutely.
So us in the diaspora going to the motherland, not just traveling through, but actually going to live. A lot of us are going back. It affects where you plant your seeds. Because what did you say about the seeds? And that's when I was like, wow. You said...
Go on.
You said, let me try to remember. You said that it's going to affect where you plant your seeds and they won't be able to grow.
Bingo.
Because if you're dealing with a city or a place that's from a childlike mindset.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's not fertile.
It's not fertile ground.
It's not fertile ground.
Because what you build isn't going to stay.
No. And someone's going to come and root it because, again, if you go, and imagine, so all of us that have got nieces, nephews and children here, you go and you take your child to that garden, you know what I'm saying? And you're trying to fertilize that soil. But you don't teach your child the principles of how to fertilize, how to nurture that soil, so it can sustain life. Yeah. And you start, let's say you plant those seeds and you let your child play, because that's what children do. What is the child going to do to those seeds?
Dig them up.
Standard.
Throw
Daddy, what is this?
What's this?
You know what I'm saying? That's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So again, if the soil is not fertile, and the consciousness there is of children, and when I say children are not bad, children are in that state of growth. What happens, the responsibility of actually nurturing these seeds cannot be put in their hands. So it's so important that wherever you travel to, wherever you plant seeds, you make sure that the soil can nurture, harness and hold space for this life that you want to actually blossom in this space.
Because there's an importance about us as the diasporans going back and planting seeds. We're meant to go and build.
Yeah.
And we're meant to be one with the culture. Yeah. And if those that are there in that particular space do not see the importance of us coming back to do that, then it's working against each other.
Absolutely.
And that's why you can't just say, oh, I'm just going to the motherland and expecting...
No, forget that.
And then also, likewise, the mindset of us here, we can't go there with our colonial mind.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of us are going back as colonizers.
Literally.
Honestly.
Oh, straight.
You know? We're thinking that we're going to do what we do here, like in the Western mindset, we're going to take it and go there and we get a huge shock.
Literally. And
massive shock.
You know, another thing as well, so just to speak to your point, where you plant your seeds, make sure the soil is fertile, make sure it is the season. Because you can plant those seeds, but it's not the season for them to grow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's going to show up as the challenges and the resistance you get when you're actually trying to establish yourself, you know, anywhere on this earth, but especially the motherland. And the motherland has an amazing quality because the mother is rising again, is that she teaches you lessons very quickly.
I usually say she slaps me up when I go. I get a good slap.
She teaches you lessons.
A loving slap.
Loving very quickly. And, you know, a lot of the issues or the challenges with the diaspora, I don't even like that term, to be honest.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? But either way.
Just so that the audience know what we're talking about. Yeah.
Is that, let's even put aside like, you know, finance and stuff like that, because that's not really the challenge, actually. It's to do with culture. Yeah. It's to do with culture. That's probably the biggest thing. I remember when I first started to travel, I went over with this "we shall overcome" culture. Let's hold hands. Let's just help each other.
Oneness.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah, and your heart was in the right space.
Yeah,
so.
it was. But I was in this utopia. They showed me what time it was. Yeah. You know? And they were supposed to show me what time it was. You know what I'm saying? Because what it is that, one, the soil wasn't ready for that. Yeah. It's number two. And I've got to go learn that soil. You know what I'm saying? So like when you're traveling, you go learn a place. Learn the culture. That's it. Learn the rhythm first. You know, learn the rhythm. Before you come over and superimpose your big plans, learn the rhythm of that land. Right. Because that's going to show you so much. I'll give you an example. This is exactly what all of these other races do. Yeah. And imagine some of them, not some, a lot.
They're coming to take. But they still learn the rhythm first.
Yeah.
And you see when they learn the rhythm, what they do, they will
go to that country and sit down there for a little while. Yes. And it may not be them, it could be their brother. But their brother's been there for 1 year. Then he sends for them. Or it's a policy from China that says, all you inmates, we're going to cut all your sentences, but we're sending you, to Mozambique or Sierra Leone. Yeah. That makes sense? And when they go there, they're not going with their women. So there's a different plan and agenda at work, you know what I'm saying? They're not going there with their women. Yeah. They're going to spread. Yeah. So the thing I'm saying is you need to learn the rhythm. And what does that come with, sis? It comes with patience. Right. I say the biggest lesson that the mother has taught me is patience. I didn't know how important, how critical to life patience is. Patience is the water to that seed. It's that gentle sunlight that lets that seed know it's ready to break open.
Because nature doesn't rush.
No, and she gets everything done.
Time.
Patience. Yeah. So when you are going and you're traveling, you need patience. And you need to sit down and experience the rhythm of the land. Preferably, learn the rhythm of how the locals move because they hold a lot of the secrets. Yes. A lot of us go over and we're literally just like decorated tourists.
Whoa.
And we don't know it though. We don't. But you're having a different experience.
Yeah. And some of us are going and not even mixing with the culture.
Shook.
You're just in your castle.
Literally. Shook of yourself. I'm not saying there's not dangers. There's dangers here. There's dangers everywhere. Yeah. That's why you have to learn the rhythm. But what I will say is when you get into that rhythm, that love rhythm, and whatever challenges you have to go through to get, because you know what these challenges do? The challenges knock you off of the artificial rhythm. Yeah. And I'm telling you, these are challenges, real challenges. They knock you off the artificial rhythm. Yeah. And put you into that. And this is what people don't get. Literally knock you off of that. Yeah. Because if those things didn't happen, I wouldn't actually have this connection right now.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have this wisdom. I'll still be connected to an idea someone gave me about we shall overcome.
Yeah.
That was someone else's idea, it wasn't mine. And I went there with that idea.
Yeah.
That makes sense? A lot of us are dying or literally finding ourselves in situations in life. This is in everywhere around the world, you know, detrimental situations because we've given our life to other people's ideas.
That's it.
We've given our life to other people's ideas. And that's a big issue. So when you're traveling in the motherland, it's important to get into rhythm.
Yeah.
And to do so, you must surrender.
You must surrender. You must surrender. Right? Is that the live done? No?
Oh, were we on live? I didn't even know we were on
yeah,
live.
we're live too. Hey!
I didn't even
But
know.
we still got our camera over
That's
there.
awesome.
So, you know, if that ends, we can still continue.
Oh, we were on live. I didn't even realise, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Seen.
But so coming back round to it, coming back round to it, because all of this, that you dropped some gems there,
Yeah.
you know, and I had to let you speak because all of that is so interesting and really important, you know. I remember speaking to someone who's been there and they've built there, and I was like, why won't you go and build in an area where it's not so highly populated, where you know it's going to be lucrative, like Sanyang, you know, and build there where there's loads of land to build on. He said, I haven't got 5 years. I haven't got 5 years to be waiting for that. And I feel like some of us are going there with our individualistic mindset of what I want to do for my life right now. And we're not planning ahead for the next generation. Because if you was, you'd be building in that space, and because you know that it's going to be lucrative, and you know that it's going to, what you're doing is a piece of the puzzle that's going to help bring the richness back.
Wealth.
The wealth. It's already rich.
Yep.
The land's
Wealth.
already rich, but the wealth.
Generational wealth.
Yeah, the generational wealth. So that's one of the things that I was thinking, when you were saying. And also coming back around as well, Albert.
Before you leave that point,
Yeah.
that is a very important point. The
Yeah.
reason why that's very important, because it goes back and it speaks to what we highlighted about the emotional age
Yes.
of people.
Yes.
There's no way you're thinking about the next generation if you've not evolved beyond a wounded child. It can't happen. It won't happen. And even when you're saying, "Oh, I'm thinking about the next," you're pretending.
Yeah.
It's just something someone's told you to do because you can get some accolades. It sounds good. You get bragging rights.
Yeah.
If you've not evolved beyond that wounded child state, you are not thinking of the next generation. You're thinking of today.
And that's why you have to start with you first.
Yes. So you remember, like, you can tell someone, "Oh, you know, but like, you know, there's a saying as well, wisdom is to plant a seed knowing that you may never sit in its shade."
Ooh.
Your generations and your lineage will sit in the shade, but you may never get to enjoy the shade of that tree.
Yeah.
You may never even get to enjoy the fruit of that tree.
Let's play some games while we're talking, yeah?
Yep.
You know how to play this,
No.
yeah? Okay, we're going to put it down. I'll go first.
Yep.
And you put yours. This is yours, yeah? So go ahead.
They're not meant
So-
to. I think I saw you lot doing this online.
So
They're not meant to
wisdom,
touch, right?
Yeah, not meant to be. Once they touch, you have to collect the ones that have touched.
So,
Yeah.
so,
So
the
it's one
person
that
ends up with the
finishes-
most.
No, it's the person that finishes their.
So who ends up with the most losers?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
Yeah.
wisdom is the. Can you just say that
yeah,
one
wisdom
again?
is planting the seed, knowing that you may never sit in its shade.
Yeah.
You know, you may never sit in the shade of that tree. You may never enjoy its fruits, but wisdom will have you plant that seed anyway because you're doing it for your lineage. And even to get to that point where you're doing that,
Yeah.
it's very important that you need to actually have evolved beyond the wounded child because you're out of the state of me. You've done the me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now you're in the we.
The
You know what I'm
we.
saying? Yeah. And
Exactly.
you're in that state of we, and you're growing, and you know that, okay, whatever I do right now, whatever I do right now is for what's coming through me. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you're telling someone, but ain't you thinking about this? Ain't you thinking about that?
This is set up. Am I playing this wrong?
What? When you're doing that and you're like, this is for my next generation and all of that stuff.
yeah.
If you're still in a wounded child state, you're lying to yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You're doing it for acknowledgement.
Remember, we have to go inside to go out.
Yeah.
So all these big plans about what we're going to do in the motherland here, there, and everywhere, it starts with us. We are the motherland.
Literally.
You know, just like you said, the altar.
Yes.
You know,
The altar of your lineage.
it starts with us. We can't escape this. There's no getting around it.
No, absolutely
Literally.
not.
Like you in this game.
This is funny, you know.
Imbalance. Look at it. She's a great starter.
I am. Why did I start?
Have you ever won one?
Never.
Oh, is it? Who won the last one?
Who won the last one? It was Malik. Was it Malik?
Last what?
No, it was Mother Earth. Mother Earth won.
19.
Yeah.
But I didn't put it down though.
I know.
Ah,
Thank you.
it's all good. It's all good. I'm coming back.
Yeah. Can we come back round to, you know, you're a dancer.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're professionally trained,
No.
but you dance.
Yes, I do.
And that was one of the questions that led to all of this.
Why is the table turned like this so quickly? You know, look how much I got in my hand. You see,
this is live.
This is where doubt
This
starts
is
coming in
act-
now.
this
This
is
is
live.
great. You see, you think you're
Did you
ahead.
just go?
You think you're ahead.
Did you
No,
just
I think
go?
it's my turn. I think it's my turn.
Yeah.
You think you're ahead and you're not.
Yeah.
Now I'm hesitating.
You can't be doing that. You just gotta go.
I know. You see.
It was nice.
Yeah, you see. I was just flowing. All right.
Oh!
Yoink.
Yoink. Ooh. Nah, this is gonna get me.
Don't say
No,
that. You're
it's not
good.
gonna get me.
You're good. Exactly. No, you're good, man. You're good. You're good. It's gonna work.
It's not.
Wow.
See?
Ah!
That's why you gotta be careful. what
Keep
you
going.
Say to yourself.
Keep going.
You gotta be careful what
This
you
is
say to yourself.
this is literally a lesson for life. Should I just put all mine down?
No, don't worry about that. You don't need to. By the way, me and Albert were very competitive when we were playing games because if you remember Uno,
Well, that was in when we're in Tanzania.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, them Uno games could have gone on all night. Okay, you won. Yes.
You see that turn of events? I could have went down a hill into the abyss of never coming back. It was very easy.
It is G. Give us a wrap up.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap up. Like I said, the question I asked was about the dancing, and we got into all of that. But we're gonna wrap it up. But I really want you to just talk about your aspirations and what you're gonna do with this dancing. Because if anyone has seen Albert dance, it is like he's channeling. Yeah, this is the altar. Yeah, and so. Are you happy to explain where it's going to go and how the motherland has influenced you? And then we can wrap it up there.
Beautiful question. Firstly, I don't know where it's going to go. I actually don't know, you know.
Yeah.
I don't. It's beyond my mind. It's beyond where I've been, you know, and it's also beyond, you know, the capacity of my mentality right now. I just know that I'm feeling the call.
Yeah.
You know, and cultural dancing has been in my lineage from before I was born. You know, so my mother had a cultural dance group. My granny had one. And when I say had one, they were born into it. And then they literally were, I would say, the supporters or the curators of a dance group. So they put people together. And the dance groups is not just dancing. It's not just that. You know, dancing, as Mikkel would say, is how we meditate. You know, it's actually how we stay in tune with the heartbeat of the mother.
Yes.
That's what dancing is, natural, because everything is dancing.
Yes. Like we explained earlier about the rhythm.
Yeah, everything is. And this isn't based on, you know, just like watching a movie. No. These movies are based on reality.
Yeah.
You know, so at a level, everything is dancing. The universe is in perpetual motion. So actually, you see when you dance, it's a prayer.
It's a prayer. It is.
You see, when you dance, you're communing with Source.
Yes.
And so when I was over there, that whole, I would say, DNA, it could be the epigenetics, if someone to explain it with metaphysics, opened up.
Wow.
And opened up for me to realize that there's a calling for me, my DNA, my ancestors that are coming through my altar
Yes.
to actually experience and manifest through the cultural dancing.
Yes.
And what's so beautiful about the cultural dancing is that they literally are, I would say, a whole university of different dances that are designed to support, enhance, heal, and nurture this altar, this temple.
Oh, wow.
So these are things that I was aware of, but I didn't know the way I know now because I've been brought up around it, but it's always been over there. Like, even when I would do like some culture dancing, the people from back home would laugh at me. I'm
And
saying,
back
'cause,
home is?
where my parents are from, Sierra Leone.
Yes.
You know, they will laugh because they can see my rhythm's different from theirs. You know, they've been brought up into it, it's in their bones, but I'll still try. However, what I got is that, you see, with the dancing, each dance, each drum pattern has a specific purpose. You have dances that clean up your nervous system.
Oof.
You've got dances that bring balance and ground you when you're going through a psychological or mental health issue. You've got dances that rotate and restore the womb,
Yeah.
you know? So I'm like, wow. So anyway, that opened up for me. And so now I know I'm on an adventure to go and discover what's there for me.
Yes.
You know, literally. I don't know why. And I don't know how, I just know it's time for it. So in
Yeah.
regards to what you're saying, that's what opened up for me. So my intention is to explore.
Wonderful, wonderful. And just a quick message, and I think that message being you're exploring to do that, and we've spoke about traveling in the motherland,
yeah.
but there's one piece of advice that you gave to me that I think everyone needs to hear.
Yeah.
Because I had a little trouble coming back. That's for another day. It's too long to go into. But you've had your challenges
share.
as well,
Oh,
your
many.
fair share. Do you remember what you said to me?
When I said that my sister told me it's now the season to move as a king.
Yes.
And so the principle behind that is we often can find ourselves in circumstances and situations where the lack, poverty, I would say limited program that would have worked for us, you know, in our youth or when we were like the wounded children. That program can come up so quickly because it's something that some of us have been used to more than a program of abundance.
Yeah.
And so what can happen is when you're moving in that program, you're not even aware that you're moving that program, you disrupt your rhythm of abundance. And what that will show up is as major challenges.
Yes.
So if something costs more, but it actually flows, go there. Do that because you're still in rhythm. And because you're still in rhythm, your channel's open, more's coming. But you don't do that and you go for something cheaper, you're going to find that the lesson that's going to come for you is going to be on many levels. One, it's going to cost you time. And time is a resource that once it's gone, it never comes back. Or that rhythm, that space and time, once it's gone, it's not coming
Yeah,
back.
the opportunity's gone.
Gone. Number two,
Yeah.
it's going to cost you money.
It's going to cost you more money anyway. You know, this is having the lack mindset. Yeah.
And number three, your peace.
Yes.
So she was like, you must move as the empress or emperor. You must move as the king or the queen. You know, it's not about, you know, things that cost cheaper. It's not that. Because money's infinite. The mother's infinite. We're in her womb. It's about flow.
It's about flow. And that's how we navigate this
Yeah.
planet. And I think that's it. Yo! We have to get you back because I tell you, there's so much gems there, and we was going everywhere,
Yeah,
but
I
I
know.
feel like we brought
Yeah.
it back. Definitely. Santi Sana.
Santi-san.
We are at Netta Vital 25 Brixton Station Road, and this is your holistic nurse Nirvana Ma'at, and we have been speaking to Albert, who is a transitional coach.
Got there.
Why am I having trouble saying that? Transitional coach.
Come on,
because
third
he has
time.
many titles within that one, but it's a transitional coach. And you just heard from him. He's amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks,